But today, I'm the greatest of all time. Thank you.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pay stub or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Same us for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
You know I'm always honest, there ain't no way I'll never stop it.
I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top,
I'm always flirting with pain, she like to hurt me and maim. I'm always working to change, but she's still lurking the same. I keep on building a dynasty while the haters be trying me, but they hate from inside.
Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Unscripted here on the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. Dustin Reese, the host today, and I'm joined by a very special guest, Andy Braunell, who is the head coach of the Neenah Girls basketball team, who just went through arguably their greatest 4-year run in their program's history. Andy, thanks for taking some time to hop on this morning.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, let's just get right into it. Silver ball's coming home to Neenah this year. Obviously, you wanted that gold ball, but you are bringing some hardware back. Just kind of talk about the state tournament and just kind of talk about the run itself. We'll kind of get into some other things later, but just kind of talk about that playoff run that you had this year, especially coming off that late season loss to Oshkosh West, which I'm pretty sure you probably weren't too happy about.
Yeah, we didn't really enter season quite on the as a coach, the trajectory you'd want to be on. That ended up being probably one of the best things for us, where that really was something that motivated us. It helped refocus us. I think really wake up call for all the girls. So translated that, came out, took care of business against Wisconsin.
She doesn't know anything. Hi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, honey.
Role is not easy. Really difficult. Pulling out of right. Then hit it right. You
oh no, Mom will definitely take my sweets away. I have to hide everything quick. Okay,
and then
lemonade is safe. Now it's time to hide the sweets.
Third time, little need to kind of clean up. Going into that.
Hi. Oh, lemonade. No, honey. Hey, what's this?
Special moment.
I knew it.
What a stage that was, and just the way Neenah came out to support us was just impressive, and just the crowd that we had both nights, Friday and Saturday, was just surreal. It was just a moment that I think we'll never forget, and especially that win Friday night. Just the emotion from everybody, ourselves as coaches included, was just something that we're never going to forget. So yeah, we'd like the gold ball, but knowing that it's only the fourth time in Neenah Girls basketball history in over 50 years that we're coming back with some hardware, and the first time since the early 80s, definitely means a lot, and we're very proud of it.
And before, I want to touch on that Hortonville game for a little bit. That sectional finals kind of been your bugaboo. 2 years ago, you lost to Appleton East in kind of a really low-scoring game, especially in that first half. And then last year against Hortonville, Rainey Wilson, obviously one of the better players in the state, had one of her best games, and it kind of made things difficult for you. And then, again, the regular season, Hortonville was that one team that you just could not seem to get past. Yeah. Obviously, Wilson drops 48 in the sectional final again, so she kind of goes and has her own. But I think for the first time, you basically forced everybody else on Hortonville to beat you, because you know that she's going to have games, good games like that. So you kind of force everybody else to beat you. But Allie Zabel, Rowan Klesma, and the rest of the girls just had a phenomenal shooting game. Once you kind of got past Hortonville, did you kind of feel like you guys had a shot to win the gold ball, knowing that that was kind of that one team that you struggled with the last couple of years?
Yeah, that unfortunately that's just the setup of the WI right now, where our state sectionals the sectionals are determined in June, and you look that an Arrowhead had at Oregon to get stretch that we had to go through the Brookfield East and Kimberly. Just seeing the type of talent that some of those sectionals had, you knew, depending on what your seed was, you knew that somebody was going to get a little bit easier of a path to get that state title game. Kind of expected once we got through Hortonville, kind of thought based on records we'd be the 3 seed. Hartford's a super talented offensive team, but we were confident that we were going to be able to put up points. So we just knew our defense had to be good enough to just slow them down to give us a good chance to get to the title game. And kind of expected it was going to be Arrowhead. It was a heck of a game. Just you could tell our shots were just legs not quite there in that one. But knew that getting past Hortonville in the sectional semifinal was obviously a gigantic hurdle for us as a program. Since I've been here, since my 20th year, that was the 6th time we got to the Elite 8 level and hadn't gotten to the Final Four. So definitely a big hurdle for all of us, and it'd been a long time since we've gotten to the Final Four, going back to 1980, 81. So yeah, that was special, and obviously against an excellent team like Hortonville, we knew.
And yeah, when you watch girls high school basketball in the state of Wisconsin, the crowds typically aren't the biggest, and your program's fortunate enough to have bigger crowds. Obviously, Allie Isabel plays a big part in that, but a team like Hortonville, top 3 in the state, Neenah, top 5 in the state, just having the crowds that you had for some of those games, do you think that kind of prepared your team for the state tournament, knowing that once you got into sectionals, your crowds are going to get bigger and bigger? Then obviously once you got to the Resch Center, they were going to see obviously the biggest crowd that they've ever seen.
Yeah, for sure. Because Resch Center being such a bigger arena, the volume of what we had in that sectional final game felt louder than, even though it was probably half the crowd size than what we faced at or what we saw at the Resch Center. It felt louder at Appleton East just because a small gym with over 3,000 people, I think about 3,300 people crammed in there. Good thing there was no fire marshal there that day to inspect that crowd, because I'm pretty sure we violated a few things with how many people were there. So just the volume of that gym was crazy. But also think during the course of the year, we had double headers with Kimberly, both home and away. I think the crowds we had for that were awesome because, again, 2 really good teams, both boys and girls side. Our games at Hortonville and our game against Hortonville at home early in the year, we had huge crowds for those. So I really think that setting in those 4 games helped us mentally be ready for the sectional final, which certainly helped us significantly when we got to the Resch Center.
Now we got to talk about Allie Isabel. Obviously one of the best players, if not, in my opinion, the best player that's kind of gone through the girls' ranks in Wisconsin high school, committed to UConn. Obviously, if you're going to UConn, you're no slouch because UConn doesn't just take any random girl off the street. Just kind of talk about what it's been like to coach Allie these last 4 years, kind of what she's meant to your program. And then what can you expect from her once she gets to UConn?
First, it's crazy to think that our time as player and coach is over, because she's a great kid, super hard worker, super passionate, super dedicated. She's without a doubt elevated the entire program to a new level. What she has done as far as her work ethic, her dedication, her drive, you've seen that just inspire so many kids. We had a little celebration Wednesday night at the high school, and it was awesome to see how many Hoops Club kids were there, middle school basketball kids there. That passion, that energy. Obviously, the team's a huge part to it, but Allie, let's face it, she's kind of like the driving force behind it. She's the motor to that car that's really helped take the program to this next level. And 3 straight years of doing what we've done. Obviously, we don't do that without her. She's a huge reason why we did that. The beautiful thing about Allie too is she's not afraid to speak up. If there's things she wanted to see us try to do on offense, we'd have conversations about it. We discuss it. And as a coach, she'd be an absolute idiot not to take her advice and her suggestions and say, hey, I think we'd be a little bit better if we could make this happen so I could get a little more space here. I think that obviously is something we certainly always listened to that and took that in and did whatever we could to try to make those things happen. Collegiately, I think that game is going to transcend phenomenally well for her as a player. She operates her best when she's with space. She just does. She is, as we've seen, she can beat people off the dribble. Then when people know they're going to try to sell out to take that drive away, she's got probably one of the prettiest step back moves I've ever seen, just with the speed of that. You put her on a court next year with a Paige Beckers coming back, a KK Arnold, Shade, Leah Edwards. You see some of those other kids that they have there, like, holy cow, with the space that's going to be out there on that court. I see her coming in and contributing right away at UConn. I doubt would be a starter right away as a freshman, but man, could see her being in that top 8 rotation for them and playing a lot of minutes and really helping that team big time next year.
And one thing I've noticed about her since covering her that a lot of the state doesn't notice is she's never one that takes the center of attention. You even look at the game that she had against Hartford, 40 points, 19 rebounds, and just everything that she did. You would think that she would kind of gravitate towards the center of attention, but no matter the type of game she has, it's always teammates first. It's always coaching staff first. It's always everything first but her. And I guess as a coach, how refreshing is it to have a player of her ability, but knowing that no matter what she does, it's still always going to be team first.
And that's something that, honestly, we as coaches can take zero credit for with her. That's her. That's 100% Allie. That's also, I think, being the child of a longtime, very successful, very good, solid head coach and her father. Just the way she's been born and raised, she is a team first kid, literally to the point where we'd have to almost push her to shoot more than 15, 16 times a game. Or like, Allie, your efficiency is insane. You're averaging 27 points a game on 14 shots. That's unheard of. And even at the state tournament on that stage, that 40 piece that she put up against Hartford, she did that on 21 shots. That's just incredible to be that efficient. So she is always looking for her teammates. Obviously, her career averages, she will leave here being the all-time leading rebounder, all-time leading assist player as well. So in our program history. So not only the points, but yeah, she is an all-around player. Really wanted the best players on the team for the defensive matchup. Wasn't always real happy with us during the regular season that we didn't always put her in that spot, but we kept telling her we're playing the long game here. We used her, probably overused her when she was a junior, and you saw her have a little less in the tank last year when we got to that sectional final game. And we just kept saying, we're playing this for the long haul. You're going to be on a Rainey Wilson when we're playing them in the sectional final. All right. So we want you to have more in the tank then, more in the tank when we get to state, and not be burned out going on fumes when we're playing in early March. And obviously, get to the state title game. That certainly helped and that certainly worked. But she is a kid. She just wants the team to do well. She wants the team to win.
And then as a coach, like you said, you've been at Neenah now for 20 years, and most coaches would dream to be in 3 sectional final appearances, let alone just 3 straight sectional final appearances like you've had the opportunity to do. I guess, what are you going to remember most about just this entire run that you've been on, not just the players itself, just kind of the entire journey, just getting from where you girls were as a program to just these last 4 years where it's been basically sectional final or bust at this point?
Yeah, it's a journey. And I think the weird thing is just every year is a new beginning. And that's the sad part sometimes, because that means you've had some phenomenal people graduate and move on, but it's also that chance to try to recreate that culture each year. And I've been here so long now that we've probably been through 3 of those runs. That 09 got to the final 8. That was when the 8 was still at state. So we got there, won conference in 10, had a little bit of a downturn. Then a couple years later, got back to 4 straight regional titles, back-to-back sectional finals, and was at 15-16 or 14-15. We got to back-to-back sectional finals, and then a little downturn, and now, back up again the last 4 or 5 years. That it's cyclical in high school basketball, so you want to maximize your talent when you have it, and then really try to use that type of talent to really inspire the future generation of who's coming up in your program, because we've always prided ourselves at Neenah as just, we kind of grow our own. All right, it's our talent coming in. Obviously, there's certainly always going to be some kids that move in, but by and large, the bulk of our kids that are playing for us played in our hoops club. They've been part of our program since 2nd, 3rd grade. So when those younger kids see the high school kids performing, it's awesome. And I think what speaks to that is 2009 when we went to state. And again, that was back when it was at Madison. We had 8 teams there. Walked out on the concourse shortly before warm-up started. It was just a ball of energy and just had to move around a little bit, and bumped into one of our hoops club teams there. Well, those kids on that hoops club team in 09 that came to watch us, they ended up being the teams that were that back-to-back sectional finals in 2014 and 2015. at those games in 2015, 2014, our current seniors were the kids that were there. They were the little hoops club kids that came to cheer them on. And you just want the program to continue rolling, where you now see those kids that have been party to this and been there and experienced that. We want their turn to come down the road. Now, hopefully it's not 5-6 years in between, which we've had that happen a few times there. So hopefully it's a little sooner, but it's just that idea. And that's what you want in a community-based program like this, that they feed off of each other, they support each other, and then they're using each other for that motivation.
Yeah, and like with most senior heavy teams, like you have a very senior heavy team, a very experienced team, so you're going to be losing without Allie just being out of the equation. You're going to be losing a lot of talent. But you also have Rowan Klesmet, a terrific sophomore. You also have another sophomore that starts for you. So it's not like your cupboard is bare. So I think that's one, like you were saying about the whole community thing, the whole hoops club thing. A lot of these girls have played together for so long that even if you have a player like Allie leaving, you still have Klesmet. You still have so much more talent left in the tank that another deep run is not the question for you girls next year.
No, definitely not. It's going to take a lot of work. I mean, you don't replace a kid like an Allie Zabel, Maya Jones, Abby Fisher. We were joking with her, like, it's playoff Fisher, the way she stepped up down the stretch, Rachel Dietrich, what she all did. And then just kids who came in and just took whatever role that they could, like a Kayla White and a Corey Bartman. And then great culture kids who are just phenomenal people that just made our program better, like an Lydia Deline and Natalie Quella, what they all did for us as well. So just such a phenomenal group of people that just worked so hard and just bought into the team concept. That doesn't just happen on its own. So we know it's going to be a big summer for us, a lot of work to do. When we go to team camp up at UW Stevens Point with the UTC team camp in mid to late June, it's going to be like a little trial by fire here that we're going to try to figure out who's got the potential. It's almost going to be like a 4-month, 5-month long tryout, if you will, that we're just going to try different kids in different roles and see what we can all piece together to try to build on this. One side note, talking about those kids that were coming to cheer us on in the past and, the next generation coming through. Friday night after our game against Hartford, Abby Fisher was super when she was a little kid coming to our hoops club game, or when she's a hoops club kid coming to our high school games. Super passionate fan coming to things and just being so jacked up. And one of her kids that she was really tight with, who was a high school player at the time, got a text from that kid, from Leah Paris, who played for us during that stretch in the 13, 14, 15, where she took a screenshot of her cheering on Abby at the state tournament. And she just said, how cool is it now that she's able to cheer Abby on like Abby used to cheer her on? More than the silver ball, it's that type of chemistry that you're just thrilled with, that you're able to try to foster that in the program, that we just have that cross-generational support. So we believe that that's going to help us just to keep building and keep growing and keep trying to, keep getting back to this level.
And the last question I got for you is just, what are you going to remember about this senior class? Obviously, every senior class leaves a specific legacy in the program, but just being with this group, everything they've accomplished, all the moments that you've been a part of, whether it's All-American, getting Allie's jersey presented to her, just the scoring itself, the sectional runs, the state, just what are you going to remember about just this entire senior group?
I think it was just for them busting through, because so many of this group of seniors, they were with us as sophomores, and many of them being key contributors, a number of them even being starters, and kids who played in that sectional final against Appleton East. And then last year with a great senior group that was just huge for our culture last year, what this group did and created with them. And then now them as seniors being able to bust through and get us to the state tournament and bring back some hardware and bring back the silver ball, I think just for them is just a great capstone, because that had always been a group that we knew was capable of great things, and just seeing them capitalize on it and piece it together and make that deep run and then be able to get to the state title game. I think it's just that culmination. So proud of them that they were able to get that done and help the program get to that level.
Awesome. Thanks for taking the time to hop on with me this morning, and I'm sure we'll do this again, because I'm pretty sure that you're going to have Neenah making another deep run in the future.
Right. We appreciate it, and we appreciate everything you do to cover us and cover.
Thank you.
3, 2, 1.